There's a Reform MP who's called for the UK to join burqa bans. I tell you what, let's do this. She's the new one. She's Sarah Pochin, and she's the one who won. It's the Amesbury seat, isn't it? Mike Amesbury, the guy who decided to Runcorn, who decided to start hitting his constituents. He stood down. She won the seat. She stood up and asked her first question at Prime Minister's Questions. Let's have a look.
Given the Prime Minister's desire to strengthen strategic alignment with our European neighbours, will he, in the interests of public safety, follow the lead of France, Denmark, Belgium and others and ban the burqa?
Yeah. Prime Minister.
Can I welcome her to her place? But I'm not going to follow her down that line.
Well, that's interesting. What do you think?
When I think of the Reform Party, I think racist, Islamophobic and divisive. And if I was the Reform Party, if I'm holding that view, my sole objective would be to change that perception.
Got more votes than the Lib Dems at the last election.
It would be to change my perception. So she gets up and she talks about 0.00001% of our population who wear face coverings, right? She has not talked about health, education, the cost of living, taxes and employment. Do you think ordinary people in this country, up and down, are talking about banning the burqa?
Well, the answer
no, they're not, Jeremy.
Well, hang on a minute. They're doing something right, Reform, because they're getting...
They're not doing that right, though.
You don't think so?
No,
but
absolutely
in the past, you've
not.
said we should ban it.
Listen, in the past, when we had extreme terrorism in this country and there was a real issue about identity, I did say, you know what, I don't think there is a place for face coverings. I've grown up. I've talked to people. I understand it. There is no need. How many crimes in this country are committed by women in burqas?
Well, you raise a good point. That's true. But, you know, they raise it because you've got to be allowed to raise it, right?
I feel like we've gone back 20 years.
Exactly.
I just think it's wild that we're even discussing this. And actually, if you want to unpack it a little bit further, what are we actually saying? We're saying, I want to know who's underneath that burqa. Why do you want to know that? Because I don't trust you. So we're talking about racism again. We're talking about the persecution of women who should be allowed to dress however they want. And also, and to go back, pick up on something you said, the amount of women in burqas who are committing crimes is so I've not even heard one story. Are we then saying that we have to look at men wearing motorcycle helmets in shops, youngsters in hoodies?
Is that a cultural issue that it's not compatible? I suppose I stress their take is that it's not compatible with British culture to walk around in a burqa. Motorbike helmets.
What is British culture?
Well, I don't know.
What are we talking? We live in a multicultural
Well, they must be saying
society.
it for a reason. They must be saying it for a reason.
They're saying
getting
it
a lot.
because
They might be in the next government.
They're saying it because their voters want to hear words like immigration, Islamophobia, burqas. It's the narrative. It's the sound bites that they go, oh yeah, they're the problem. Immigrants, asylum seekers. That's what they have built their reputation on. If they're going to become a serious party, they've got to go beyond that. They've got to start talking about their policies and not sidelining, you know, the big issues. I want to know what your tax policies are. I want to know what your employment policies are. How are you going to get people into employment during an era of AI?
You know what?
Because they're thick and they don't know what to say on those things.
You can win an election just on culture wars. Trump has just done that. So let's see.
Yeah, but it doesn't last. It's not sustainable.
They may not need.
It's not sustainable. You'll get people moving out of the country. If Reform come in on this kind of propaganda, I will leave this country.
Where will you go?
I'll go to Portugal. I'll go anywhere. It's better than living here.
Sounds nice,
Under Reform government that's spouting this sort of nonsense is ridiculous.
I'll go with her.
Okay.
Yeah.